GGs, Dundadas, Hyenas, Scuba who learn from Scuba Steve. What's criminal, y'all? I rock Luther King X. Don't forget the Kennedy doing his million march right here on YouTube. We conducted ourselves the most highest Dundada. Life's what you make it. You can't love it, you can't hate it. It's gonna be simply what you make it. We standing on business, Dundada. You heard, Dundada? That's a fact, GG. Remember, Dundada, we're building our 2025 permanents. We staying more weird than ever, Dundada. God chose you because he knew he could trust you. God's best kept secret, Dundada. You heard, Dundada? We gotta stay more legitimate than ever, Dundada. I guess DURKIO, today is no church Sunday, Dundada. It's no church Sunday, Dundada. So we standing on business, Dundada. We keeping our literature right, Dundada. We're doing our 1-2, Dundada. You heard, Dundada? We gonna give our Sunday classes right here, Dundada. You heard? That's a fact, Dundada. It seems like DURKIO, Dundada, been going BD insane, Dundada. You know what I'm saying? DURKIO's BD insane, Dundada. And that nigga been fucking standing down, I guess how you supposed to stand down, Dundada. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people's gonna say that DURKIO is doing too much, or DURKIO's doing this, or DURKIO doing that, but this is what y'all want, y'all wanted DURKIO to be a street nigga, right? Y'all wanted DURKIO to stand up for himself, right? Y'all wanted certain things to happen, right? So DURKIO, if he's if niggas is trying to extort him, OTF members is trying to extort him, that what he's supposed to do, You know what I'm saying? Y'all saying the shit that 6ix9ine did was bitch and that snitch, and you know what I'm saying? What he did, he was getting extorted, so he trying to fucking branch off, but then he had to get involved in his Richo. So you saying that, but when DURKIO stand on business, then DURKIO's doing too much. When niggas trying to extort him, that niggas is doing too much because DURKIO's standing on business, and he's staying all the way on business, right? Like, I don't get it, What y'all want? Do y'all want people not to be on business, or y'all want niggas to get extorted? You want these rappers getting extorted, then when you end up in jail, they're like, oh, you're stupid, you stood down, look at all the hits you got, look at what you've been doing, I mean, it's like you keep putting all these hits on DURKIO, make DURKIO even look even more, make him look even more like legendary in the hood. Damn, DURKIO, he's like John Gotti in the hood right now. It's like you put so much bad shit on him. It's only helping his fucking. It's not helping his case, obviously, but it's helping who the fuck his music is, because that's what they want. They want to see that shit. They're like, yo, DURKIO was actually standing all the way on fucking business. GG. That nigga was placing his on O-Block members, OTF members, nigga, NBA Youngboy members, fucking Trade members, fucking FPG members, fucking not just one, all of them. He want them all dead, He don't want the one he asked for. He want them all, And that's one thing about Durk that he had to. Someone should have told that man, you can't kill everybody in the world, You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to, you're not gonna be able to kill Munna because he's messing with your brother's baby mom, nigga. Like, that's your brother's baby mom. That's like whatever your brother, like, if she wants to go and fuck around with anybody, that's what she's doing, What the fuck can you say, There's nothing that you gonna place a hit on Munna allegedly, because like that don't even make sense. And what, he wasn't trying to slide for Vaughn, but probably you placed the hit, more or less, because he said that he's the leader of O-Block, nigga. You don't run shit around here, nigga. You don't set niggas to go, Know what I'm saying? So he probably felt sort of worried, but it's a little different. Shit gets a little heck dizzy, So we gonna stand on business, The store runners got Durk locked up, A lot of store runners got Durk locked up. A lot of shit going on, A lot of shit, you know what I'm saying? So we gotta stay more aware of what's really happening, GG. Like, what the fuck, So Durk wanted some black disciple members exterminated, gone, boom. He marked them for death, He X'd them out, You heard? He said he wants them niggas crucified for not sliding for Juan. He's gonna. So I feel like this is what actually happened, GG. On some real shit, on some real. I feel like Durk got forced to slide for Vaughn, because niggas wasn't trying to slide. Niggas was like, yo, fuck it, nigga. He died over there, nigga. What you want us to do? There's nothing to do. We here, Vaughn took care of the FBG Duck situation, So it's like there's no one on 63rd at the time, Like, there's nothing going on till someone comes up from the 63rd, You know what I'm saying? And And the old block members ain't trying to really go to fucking Georgia and shit like that, or probably ain't really trying to fucking like they trying to live Dandada. They ain't trying to just fucking crash out. They ain't crashing out for Durk at least Dandada. Maybe they crash out for Vaughn, but probably they ain't crashing out for Durk. Or maybe because they can't really pin a finger of what happened with Vaughn, they really ain't fucking with Durk Dandada. So Durk feels a sort of way about that too Dandada. You know what I'm saying? You gotta stay more righteous than never Dandada. So you know that Durk, he's probably staying a sort of way Dandada about that shit Dandada. Munna Durk Dandada, he got the bag Dandada, because Durk gotta take care of fucking D-THANG's kids, but D-THANG's kids, you know what I'm saying, he was part of OTF, so D-THANG kids got all D-THANG's money and whatever the case may be, GG, whatever, and he's not feeling because now Munna Durk got access to that, Munna Durk is sleeping with this girl, so it's like Munna Durk got control of D-THANG's properties, and Durk obviously helped D-THANG control all his properties, not like control him, but he got him on, he's the singer, he's the manager, they brothers, you know what I'm saying? So I'm saying it's a 1-2 thing, so it's like, damn, this nigga's over here, he's gonna be leeching off this girl, whatever the case may be, he's not really acting, we need this nigga gone, you know what I'm saying? He's not sliding, either he's gonna slide for Vaughn to be there, he's not sliding at all. We don't want nobody that's not sliding, around this area, you know what I'm saying? Is it a bad thing? I don't know, to make niggas slide, nah, don't make niggas slide, niggas ain't got it in them to slide, just don't let them make them slide, But as for the Richo, the OTF Richo, that shit hit different, Richo was trying to extort him. So OTF members trying to extort Durk, so Durk was like, yo, you know how niggas talk, niggas trying to extort over here, we ain't letting that shit slide, nigga, we gonna get him whacked, you know how you is, nigga, I'll kill, this niggas that be playing basketball, like, nigga, get into a fight, I'll kill you, nigga, over a basketball game, so imagine, niggas is actually mad over some real shit, so they saying, I'll kill you, I'll put this, or I'll strip these niggas, next time I see you, I'm gonna fucking strip you, nigga, you rob me, nigga, for a penny, you took a sack out my crib, next time I see you, I'm gonna strip you, and all you hearing is what he's saying, oh yeah, but he's just mad, you know what I'm saying? His mad might be so mad that he's like, you could be so mad because of the portrayal. You're not mad that you actually, but you're so mad that these niggas portray you, that you actually want to conduct yourself in a malice way, so you want to actually stand on business, and start hurting a lot of people, Like imagine you done went on a drill, you caught a body, so boom, you come back, you had your girl's crib, your girl's brothers calling you a bitch. Your girl's brothers calling you a bitch. Oh, you a bitch. You this, you that. You just came from a body. He's calling you a bitch just because you have a situation with his sister, and son. So he's trying to call you a bitch. Oh, yeah, you not taking care. And this nigga just came off a drill, So this nigga, what do you think this nigga's going to want to do with him, He's going to want to drill him, But so if he does drill this nigga, right, and happens to get away, what's going to happen next, The next person who stepped on your shoes, guess what you gonna want to do to him, You gonna want to drill him, And the next person and then he's gonna get to the point that people don't even have to do physical things to you. People can look at you wrong. Yo, this nigga was looking at me wrong, We might have to get this nigga, yo. I don't know about this nigga, He's just looking at me. Then it's gonna be just worse, yo. We heard this nigga was saying something. He called you an idiot. He called you dumb. Oh yeah, we gonna get him back. It's only gonna get lighter and lighter and lighter the way that you want to body niggas for, Because you've been bodying, so you feel like you can't take no disrespect. No, that's a lie, You got to calm it down, at the end of the day, You can't kill everybody in the world, You get, and everybody is not worth killing, Real shit, No one, don't let niggas trick you out the position, to make them, you know what I'm saying, for you to want to hurt them, you know what I'm saying? It shouldn't be that way, You got to stay focused. You got to stand on business, You know what I'm saying? You got to stay logic, because a person who tried to shoot at you ain't a person who stepped on your shoes by mistake, you know what I'm saying? That's not the same thing, but you're just on business that you don't want nobody disrespecting you don't want shit going down that you blatantly you're just going but it's like it's like one of them snowball effects and you've been catching shit and now you don't want no disrespect and now you and your friend got into a fight and then you end up bodying your friend. Shit, you ain't a killer till you kill someone you love, and then that happens, and then you go crazy, and then you turn DURKIO crazy, you're like, yo, this nigga's fucking my brother's baby mom, yo, take him out, these niggas ain't sliding, nigga, take them all out. Why would you take out niggas who ain't sliding? That's a waste of takeouts. Like, let them leave, let them go, let them disappear, let them go do whatever the fuck they want to do, keep them away from us, Why the fuck would we want them here, GG? We don't want these people here, We don't want them people in our face. We don't want these people, conducting themselves on different aspects, just because they're not about that. And that's the point, DURKIO. That's why I try to tell you, You made these store runners killers. Niggas push you to go and slide because they wasn't sliding, so why would you slide, And they push your ass to slide, and you went there with OTF Diddy. His dumb ass never wanted to fucking thing. Got you mixed up in some hot shit, some crazy wild shit. If he got you mixed up, no matter what, you pay him to take care of the situation. You ain't paying him to put you in a situation, so he definitely didn't get the mission done right. Real shit. No matter what. You can't get mad at Durk for paying someone to take care of the mission, even though, you know what I'm saying? And that person was supposed to take care of the mission. It doesn't matter what it is. You know what comes with that shit. You know what's come with this crime. You know that you might get caught. You know, you might not get. You know that you might think. You know you gotta do this shit right. Don't put Durk in it. That's why he paid you for it. If that's the case, he would have fucking picked the team out and got the team together and did this and did that. Don't put the nigga in it. That's the crazy part in it. But no one wanted to slide. And Durk, a lot of people wasn't fucking with Durk because they saying, yo, Durk was fucking trying to exterminate fucking blacks, BD members, GD members, OTF member, old black members. He didn't give a fuck, nigga. Memo people he was trying to sign, this person, that person. It was crucial. It was brutal, nigga. It was real brutal, Like, that's a crazy situation, you know what I'm saying? And then when it goes like that, you got Memo 600. I mean, you got Memo, he's over here, getting shot at, his cousin dying, like, people said, like his cousin didn't need to die, he alive, but his cousin died, like, it's so much that goes on with this shit, and you want everybody to slide, niggas ain't really fucking around, niggas ain't old block, niggas ain't 600, niggas ain't, like, everything's different. OTF is that, like, that shit's crazy, that's a whole different situation.
He simply pointing out, hey, you got these text messages, and you telling me this is the reason why I'm in jail, but I never said nothing.
To dismiss the case altogether, and Diddy filed a motion to separate himself from the case altogether. Also, retaliation on OTF for not sliding for Vaughn in those texts. Let's get to the content.
Ghost sent me something earlier.
Okay.
And I believe that was pertaining to an attempted mission in Chicago.
Okay.
When they told him, Durk said, pipe up.
Right.
Said, shake the phones. But they went through there, wasn't nobody over. Right. But that shows, they're going to use it as shows that he will send a hit.
So you think, okay, so let me ask you a quick question.
I ain't seen nothing about LA though.
Did you know?
We're able to give our patients their permanent teeth the next.
When you see this, you know that now you can be like, yo, Durk wasn't taking. Durk wasn't fucking. He was on nobody's side. He ain't playing that shit. Like, this is a man of principle. Either y'all gonna go or y'all not. Everybody gonna feel it. Is that true? Or you think that they just don't want all black members on their side? So if they say that, but they act like the old black members that slid on FBG Duck is gonna switch. Nigga, they ain't gonna switch. Them niggas acted. They're like, nigga, go slide for Vaughn, nigga. They love Vaughn. They would have slid for Vaughn for nothing, nigga. They would have slid for Vaughn at the drop of a dime.
They alleging that the OTF right, is remember his motion is in the air right now. His motion is public. His motion is public.
Take a plea, right?
So he's asking for a plea, but allegedly what he put into his paperwork is all the discovery that came back against Durk. So he's basically alleging that he doesn't have any involvement in the discovery that came back against Durk. That's his argument. It's like, hey, I'm just Whoop. But you see,
is Diddy the manager?
No, he.
Who flew on the plane with Durk coming from Miami?
That's a Grant.
Which one is Diddy? Diddy was in the cars?
Give me a second.
Was he in Beverly Hills? If he was in Beverly Hills, nigga, you got accessories, conspiracy. If you wasn't a gunman.
Yeah, see, that's where that.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, that's where it gotta get cleaned up.
I be having to go to Brock and Ghost and y'all.
Right.
All this OTF and EFJ and GXY, these niggas.
But this is new. This is new because nobody ever said that he put a hit out on OTF or O Block members. That's new.
So Diddy, what they say Diddy was involved where?
This is what okay. Let me back it up. This is what they're saying. Whack. Just off the Beverly Hills, they saying that there's a text message thread, right, between OTF Diddy, Lil Durk, prosecution witness 1, right, and then allegedly they're trying to slide on Mooney Durk, who's an O Block member, And they're saying that, hey, Lil Durk sent the text message in that thread that he finna pipe up because niggas wasn't sliding for O Block, right? They're alleging that one of the shooters who posted that, hey, we're gonna take care of this, green light, go, 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 right? That's the other O Block linked up with PW1 and went to go slide on O Block. But because of the fact that the cops was out there,
they didn't do nothing.
They ain't do nothing.
So they're gonna use that to establish that he's gonna call a hit. He'll call
for sure. But that's only one that they allege. There's 3 others that they allege right now that he called the shots on. Remember,
they're gonna show a pattern. And remember, all they need is one of them dudes that was in Beverly Hills.
For sure.
Say some crazy shit is over with.
But they already got, remember, don't forget in the Beverly Hills situation, they already got the shooter in that situation. And this is something we broke down with Keep It G Salute earlier in Beehive.
More than one shooter though, wasn't it?
There's only one shooter, quote unquote, allegedly telling though. That's an unindicted co-conspirator. There's only one.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's what you're saying, but there's only one.
How many shooters they got
3
in that video? 2, 3?
3.
And one of the 3 is telling.
One of the 3 is telling. For sure.
One of them niggas say they went by his order, he's done.
And that's where the breakdown was kind of different, because if you do the breakdown on, it's the fact that the shooters allegedly is from a different faction, a different set called D-THANG, right? Allegedly. Not 300, not O Block, not OTF, a different subset of hitters from a different place, right? That they paid it, right? So those are that allegedly is paid throughout the whole indictment. They in the Quando Londo, more than multiple. They in the other O Block. So it's these D-THANG, right? Who don't know who they name, that's allegedly flipping on the money man. Make sense?
Boscov's Fall Festival sale is happening now. Saturday.
Durk ain't playing the data. Durk ain't playing. He going DURKIO crazy.
We got a whole nother group of niggas talking.
100%. He don't got no from O Block that he trusts to put the work in. Remember, he sliding on O Block. At the same time, allegedly, he put in the bag in the streets to get rid of the other niggas. So he not trusting the O Block shooters at that point in time. Go ahead.
We're Durk from O Block or 60.
He not from O Block. He from Land Wrong.
Oh.
You see what I'm saying? And that's where it kind of, if you kind of got your ear to the streets, it's King Von O Block that run that. Lil Durk.
King Von was O Block. He just
there you go. Durk. There you go. Durk run the whole other side. Land Wrong 300. Whoopty whoop.
So why he sitting to slide on O Block if his man was from O Block?
Because that's not his man. Okay. Let me try to put
Durk
it in
ain't his man? I mean, Von ain't his man?
This is where it get
from O Block or 67?
This is where it get nasty. You might not remember, right? But around 4 or 5 months ago, there was some runnings around that O Block was mad at Durk because they're signing for Von, right? And then said that, yo, Durk is the money man, that he just put money up and he's scared of O Block because on his head, right? It was some just up, down, left, right, running their mouth, right?
I mean, O Block supposed to put their work in.
For sure.
I got.
But if this is why I understand the data. This is why I don't get the data. They actually trying to say, yo, since Vaughn is from O Block should be putting in the work, the data. But if Vaughn is tied to OTF, the data, and OTF, the data got him in a situation that he's like, Vaughn didn't die from street politics. Vaughn died from the industry politics. He died from in another state by another rapper, by another crew, the data. Like, why would he want these niggas, right? He want these niggas to be sliding the data, but Vaughn got cousins that are killers. He got uncles that are killers. He got family members, and none of them, but you want just O Block, nigga. His family's not from O Block. Nigga, Vaughn got family everywhere, the data. You know what I'm saying? Vaughn, like, a lot of people, like, and Durk's supposed to be his homie, the data. So why would you be so in your fucking pants that everybody's not sliding, the data? You want to put, you know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah, we're going to pipe up on O Block, the data. That's different, the data. Maybe it's more to it.
Niggas sliding me, nigga, they from different hoods.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what your hood gonna do, they gonna do. You know what I mean? Right. So Dirk ain't Dirk. I don't be knowing where none of these little niggas from.
Well, we know
I
from the
can't keep up. It
evidence,
be
from the text message that they said they got. They said they got to slide on the old block, dropping the bag, putting up the money for the vehicle, and them sliding. They got them running in their mouth. And at the end of the day, from everything they said, they got
if that's going on with a
PW1
whole nother unit, somebody probably got caught up
for
on some
sure.
and got out.
Because remember, Wack, this is the first time I seen it. They got a PW1. PW1 is a prosecution witness number
Witness.
one.
Yeah.
That witness, right, Unc, is on the text message thread that allegedly Booney Mo's on, Lil Durk's on, OTFDD's on, that they sliding on everything you want to name. Quando Rondo, remember, Quando Rondo got shot at 2 times prior to what happened to him in Atlanta.
Poor
Lil Tim
Quando.
got hit up before that. They allege that Dirk got 4 or 5 bodies on him just from the paperwork that they investigating off of the Rico. Remember, I told you,
But
you got
they
the whole.
ain't put that on him yet, though, right?
It's on him right now.
See?
Okay. Put it this way: the superseded indictment don't have it on him, right? I'm with you. But what his Cody just filed, the severance he just filed, right? The severance that the Cody just filed has all the information that they have against Dirk. The Cody is saying, yo, my client, quote unquote, this is the lawyer saying it, my client doesn't have any reference towards any wiretap, any investigation you have into Dirk. Dirk is on hook for all of this. Go ahead.
He's saying my client ain't so he in there because he was in Beverly Hills, though, right?
He in there just because he's in the text message thread.
So was he in was Didi in Beverly Hills?
I mean, I'm not gonna
Was
say
he in the alley? Was he in any of the cars that hit Quando them? If that wasn't at the hotel room chilling, they gonna book him.
You gonna book him?
And what they gonna do now is because he's saying that,
Right.
they gonna hit him with a conspiracy,
Right.
but let him know you right. We can give you this nickel if you let us know what was being talked about. You ain't got to give us everybody, just give us one. You don't even got to give us Dirk. That's how they gonna play.
That's the play, because right now he's saying, hey, that text message thread you guys got, where you allege that old boy put the money up, I never said a word. I didn't respond. You see what I'm saying? I didn't say yay. I didn't say nay. I didn't say. So the fact
Everybody else responded but him.
Everybody but him. So he's in the thread for 3 murders, but he never said a word.
He ain't said nothing.
He ain't saying nothing. He's in the thread though. He's added to the thread, but he just never said a word.
He can't stop it by adding to a thread.
He can't.
Yeah, they see him as a weak link.
Exactly. And that's why it's OTF. Remember, it's OTF DD that's on the backside, but they still got PW1 that's in that text message thread that's willing to testify right now. That's the prosecution witness 1. The paperwork says he said he's willing to testify.
PW1, they gonna flip DD.
They're gonna flip PW. PW1 is already done.
PW1 already
for sure.
I bet the dada. PW1's done the dada, but niggas is but Dirk ain't done the dada. You think Dirk is done going fucking BD crazy the dada? That nigga, like, that's really BD insane the dada. He's trying to take, he ain't playing with none of these niggas the dada. He came out Munna for messing with his brother's baby mom. Munna denies beefing with Dirk over dating Dirk's brother, D-THANG's baby mom, the dada. Like, what? What? That's straight. It gets real.
OTF DD, where he's instructing them to go buy a car, and done in the dark would eventually come to light. And it's looking like a lot of things are starting to come to light. Now, recently we covered the story of Lil Durk's trial, where it's been rumored that they have evidence, including a witness, proving that there's Instagram and text messages of Lil Durk with other OTF members, such as BABYMOM and OTF DD, where he's instructing them to go buy a car and unalive anybody they see in O-Block for not properly wanting to retaliate for King Von, allegedly. Now, the witness who confirmed that says that the only reason that didn't go through is because of the heavy police presence in O-Block, basically letting it be known that if they weren't there, then they would have carried out with those instructions from Lil Durk, allegedly. And it's mighty funny how right after all that information came out, suddenly we hear that Lil Durk's attorneys pushed to file a motion to suppress all evidence and exclude the other acts that the government is trying to introduce, stating that since the motion contains actual evidence, it'll be under seal and protected by a protective order. So, once again, we have more sealed documents when it comes to Lil Durk. But the point of me bringing that up is because it's a coincidence that once the evidence against him was revealed, and it states that Durk instructed guys to unalive O-Block members, suddenly now they want to file motions to keep the evidence hidden. But why? What if there's other evidence within that case that shows Lil Durk giving out other instructions on other individuals that may be close?
Because they want to keep it hidden because he's not charged with none of it. They putting out complaints about it. They filing motions. They putting out civil suits. They putting out all the civil suits he has. They put it out like, but he's not actually charged with any of them crimes. So why is they placing more information that has nothing to do with the PAB crime, with the PAB situation, if it don't have nothing to do with the, because that's what he's locked up for. So y'all bringing up all the Chicago shit, but you just bring it up, y'all just put it on, illustrating it, put it words together, but not charging him with anything. So they're like, yo, what a waste.
And will show that he wasn't who everybody thought he was, and in fact, he may be more sinister than people think. Who knows? But here's what nobody is paying attention to. In the last video, I told y'all that based on them having evidence from 2023, it's no telling how far back the investigation actually goes. I think they would have kept investigating, but they realized that Durk was trying to flee the country, so they had to intervene now because they couldn't let him leave and risk blowing the whole case. Now, as far as the case goes, I was going to save certain things for when we go live, but I figured we just point out a few details we found out where it's something.
And it's crazy, because you got to keep it sealed because the prosecution ain't really playing fair, They over here going to say, oh, yeah. Oh, they're gonna put in. Oh yeah, if they saying that the judge is gonna get hurt if he charges Durk, or they're gonna burn the FBI, they're gonna burn the federal courthouse down. Like, come on now, that's fans just saying stupid shit. They calling in saying that. Oh yeah, I feel like that's just the prosecution having people call in. Why would Durk have people calling in? The prosecution say, oh, the prosecution give Durk life. They're gonna catch him. They go and catch a bullet or whatever case may be. Like, that's false, bro. That's false information. You gotta y'all the prosecution ain't playing fair.
Things just don't make sense, and I want to point it out, and I want y'all to let us know in the comments what y'all think. Now, Munna Duke's name was mentioned within his paperwork, and it alleges that Durk and Duke was feuding with each other. That's when after Durk says, "I'm finna pipe it up," and BABYMOM responded, "Blood, it's green." That's when we would learn that allegedly he would instruct certain individuals to go unalive anybody in O-Block.
We all know that Rhode Island has a hands-free law for cell phone.
Did the transcripts actually say that he said anybody?
Including Munna Duke.
Let me see. Evidence that defendant Banks and others involved in the murder of SR sought to extract revenge on other rivals of defendant Banks and defendant Banks' direction. Specifically, in April 2023, text messages by and between defendant Banks and OTF members include defendant DeAndre Wilson, Antonio Jones, aka BABYMOM, and PW1. Shows defendant Banks, whoever PW1, feud with O-Block members. Munna Duke over defendant. Who they got? What names they got there? They got BABYMOM. And who else? Yeah, who's that? Maybe Vonnie, maybe I don't know who's, but they gotta be D. One of them. It gotta be one of them. Who else would be on the thread? I believe that O Block members were not properly retaliating for Bennett's death. In the thread, defendant Banks states, "I'm gonna pipe it up," in which BABYMOM responds, "Blood is green." Emoji of the car and green light. Getting shit together now. No phones. What the fuck? Tagged, I set forth of the corroborated discovery of the government thing. I will testify. Well, ain't nothing happened. Wow, they bringing up stuff, but nothing. There's something happened. The data. Nothing really happened. The data. That shit different. The data responds to defendant Banks' direction to exact revenge on O Block members. PW1 and BABYMOM purchase a vehicle. So whoever BABYMOM purchased the vehicle with, that's who the fucking PW1 protective witnesses. The data vehicle feud with defendant Banks to travel to O Block and kill whatever O Block members they can find. Woo! Whoever. PW is also expected to testify that PW1 would have been expected to be paid by defendant Banks for anyone to conspire, the conspirators killed. But that's the because the conspirators did not go through the plan because police presence in O Block. Evidence that defendant Banks and other OTF member involved in the members of SR discussed violence against the other rivals. Defendant Banks and defendant Banks' direction specifically, and April 2003 text message thread between defendant Banks, defendant Wilson, BABYMOM, and aka Zoo, where the defendant Banks sent a screenshot on Instagram message of he sent to Richard Ramsey, Richo, Landron 300, that says, "I got them hunting you up. Ads better, I got them hunting you up. Ads better have 3 ski masks on." Alright, so Durk ain't playing. He told this nigga 300 from Lamron, Richo, Lamron 300, "You better have 3 ski masks on, nigga. Niggas is coming for you." And he said, "Put your 3D glasses on, we coming straight at you, GG." That's a motherfucking fact. We coming straight at you.
Especially being that Duke was the biggest face of O Block prior to his unaliving. Which kind of also goes back to his shooting, where it never made sense because there was a bunch of stories floating around, but one thing everyone said as soon as they heard what happened, including Chicago guys such as FYB J-May or King Ella, they both said it sounded like some Chicago backdoor-ish. So fast forward to now, and we hear that allegedly Durk wanted certain O Block members out the way. Would it be too far-fetched to believe that it's possible someone close to Duke could have got paid to carry out the hit on his life? Whether it was actually doing it or dropping locations or whatever, right? So with that being said, just a couple months ago when OTF Vonnie's father accused Lil Durk of being a part of the scheme of using OTF Vonnie to set up the scheme for King Von, everyone called him crazy, a clout chaser, or said he's just looking for money. However, pay attention to what he said. In the paperwork, they're accusing Durk of saying he's finna pipe it up, and BABYMOM said blood is green, basically coded language. But you know what's strange and what sounds very, very familiar? Because it sounds very identical to what OTF Vonnie's father said he heard when his son OTF Vonnie was speaking to Lil Durk, and he alleged that after they set the play up for King Von to lose his life, allegedly, Durk asked Vonnie, "Is it open?" And OTF Vonnie responded, "It's off the hinges." Cold words once again, basically stating that everything is complete.
Damn, niggas actually be talking like that. It seems like niggas talking like that. I feel it piping up. It's a green light, nigga. This is on go. Yo, is it open? The doors is off the hinges.
As Durk asked Vonnie, "Is it open?" Vonnie told him it's off the hinges.
Wait. Are you talking about the death of Von? Like King Von?
Listen very carefully. When the payment was made to Little Tim, the next day or the same day, Durk asked Vonnie, "Was it open?" This is what he asked him. Was it open? It was the exact words, "Was it open?" He told him it's off the hinges.
And how ironic, right? If you pay attention to a post made by the verified Instagram page, DURKIO's World in 2020, which for whatever reason the page no longer exists, one of the pictures they posted, the caption would say, quote, "Somebody called me and said the door open. I said that itch off the hinges." Now, King Von passed away in November of 2020. The post from the now deleted page, DURKIO World, was made in 2020. And OTF Vonnie's father is alleging that he overheard his son speaking to Durk in 2020, saying the same exact thing. Maybe it's just all one big
damn, there might be some proof to what old man is saying, the dada. Old man might not be tripping, the dada. You know what I'm saying? Crazy old man might not be so crazy. Y'all was calling him crazy old man. Come on, y'all calling Bonnie's dad crazy old man, the dada, but crazy old man might not be crazy. Like, he said something that he got off his acknowledgement, and he found the post, the dada.
Strange coincidence. Now also, let's point something out that maybe the feds don't understand, but if you've been tuned into the drill culture and know the mechanics behind certain individuals and their relationships, then you know it's deeper than what the feds may know. Now, in the document where they highlighted that Munna Duke feud, highlighting that it was basically in regards to Munna Duke and the whole text thread, it would stay quote, text chain Munna Duke feud. The notice claims a group text between defendant Banks and OTF members including defendant DeAndre Wilson, Antonio Jones aka BABYMOM, and PW1 reflected Mr. Banks' frustration that O-Block was not properly retaliating for Bennett's death. In the thread, Mr. Banks, not Mr. Wilson, declared, "I'm finna pipe it up." BABYMOM responded with, "Blood is green," emoji of car and green light, "Getting it together now, no phones." The government expects PW1 to testify about purported follow-up plans involving others. Significantly, the government attributes no statement to Mr. Wilson in this exchange. His presence is merely noted as being on the text chain. There is no chain that Mr. Wilson agreed with, endorsed, or acted on Mr. Banks' statements. Now, you know what's also funny? It's kind of crazy how everyone is paying attention to Lil Durk, saying, "Oh, Durk this, he's trying to get rid of O-Block members," but nobody's mentioning the fact that BABYMOM was the one that was going to get it done, and he, without a doubt, without a hesitation, said, "All right, getting it together now, no phones." Basically stating that he's about to act on whatever instruction was given by Lil Durk. But anyway, Von was unalived in 2020, right? Lil Pad was unalived in 2022. Remember the "they can't say slide for Von no more" comments? It came after Lil Pad was unalived because it was purported that that situation was already get back for Von, right? Which is also why not only did No Jumper host Brick Baby state that he heard that they can't say that no more and alluded to the Lil Pad situation happening, but Lil Durk himself as well went on DJ Academics and insinuated the same exact thing.
Everybody slide for Von comments. I don't know if people still say it. They used to say it, but you also mentioned a song. They be like, they be saying slide for Von. I think they trolling me. By the way, that song's fire. I ain't gonna lie.
For some reason, I just don't see comments no more. For some odd reason. I don't know. Might be the water. You be sending comments a lot?
They kind of chilled out a little bit.
I wonder why. But yeah, though, we different in Iraq.
So if we all can agree that Lil Pad's situation was get back for Von, and Pad was unalived in 2022, why would Durk be mad about guys not getting back for Von in 2023? Unless that was never the real reason, and instead the reason is more deeper than get back for Von, because maybe Duke and Durk had their own tension going on, allegedly. And speaking of Duke, in the last video I told y'all it was weird how Duke's baby mother Fat, who was
you know what's crazy, Dandada? I feel like it was O-Block that encouraged the slide for Von. I feel like maybe maybe Durk was trying to tell them slide for Vaughn. They're like, nigga, you got Vaughn over there. You took Vaughn over there. You got Vaughn was situated with you, you couldn't have him protected, How about you slide for Vaughn? So we gonna trend you. So everybody, so you know you could come on. They are all about they can have the whole building over there texting. Yo, make sure you go on Durk shit, say slide for Vaughn. And everybody just got pages slide for Vaughn. And it was actually dumb because he was telling them to do it, so they telling him to do it. And look at what happened. They knew that they would have did it. It would have happened. But hey.
Also, the baby mother of Lil Durk's brother D-THANG started saying free Durk and was so pro Durk after Duke passed away out of nowhere. But now, let's see how she acts, knowing that the feds, not us, not the blogs, not a conspiracy theorist, but the feds are now accusing Durk of having tension with Duke and potentially want to get him out the way. Also, having a witness to confirm those same allegations. And it's funny because she may act like she don't know, but she's aware of the tension between Duke and Durk because Duke used to tell her to turn off Durk's music when she would play it while he was on live. Remember? But as y'all know, you can't trust a soul. Because ain't it crazy that the feds have a thread of these guys allegedly plotting against Munna Duke in April of 2023, but when Duke did an interview with Best Point of View TV a few months later in 2023 in October, and he asked Duke about his affiliation with Durk, Duke said they're brothers through the sake of Allah, meaning because they're both Muslim brothers. But clearly, it seemed like that was just something that was one-sided.
I got an internet be trying to say like you into it with Lil Durk over like a baby mom or situation like that, bro.
Nah, that's my brother, man.
Okay.
I love for the sake of Allah.
Okay.
That's my brother. You know
okay, I just forgot the internet be trying to say y'all influence like that.
None of that. You know
so that's your brother.
Man. You know
okay.
Now I told y'all before how the feds play, and everything that's happening is exactly up the feds' alley. Didn't I tell y'all before? There's a reason Durk was denied bond 3 times back to back. Didn't I tell y'all there's a reason that no matter how much money he tried putting up, they wasn't letting him out? Didn't I tell y'all that there's a reason his trial keeps getting pushed back? And didn't I tell y'all that the feds never expose their whole hand before trial? They do their investigations, they gather their evidence, they come to you and tell you the time that they got for you.
3. That shit crazy, They trying to milk Durk, That's
whatever plea deal that they have. If you refuse, you go straight to trial. The thing about that is, you go into trial thinking that they don't have much on you, and then boom, they hit you with the mother load. But at that point,
and the crazy part is GG. I feel like look at NBA YoungBoy. The NBA YoungBoy probably wasn't even. He was going through his own thing. He wasn't even worried about it. But niggas was trying to blackball him. They're trying to keep him out the game. They were trying to think on his foot. They was just doing too much to keep people out. And got him just caught up. Because they just want to keep people out. The situations that shit hit different.
To their own hands and risked it all federally by leaving voicemails to the judge stating that Lil Durk and Diddy is innocent. And if they was to get life, oh, they gonna burn this motherfucker down. And not only burn it down to the motherfucking crowd. I said, oh wait, they done unlocked a new level of trolling out here. And check it out. And ended the conversation by saying, think it's a game, bitch. I mean, it wouldn't be wise to play with the government like that, because when you calling in, they got your IP, they know your whereabouts, and they coming to see about you expeditiously. Now, these ain't my words. These the words of the federales. Now, the feds claim another Durk supporter issued a similar threat to the prosecutor stating free Durk or get murked. Yeah, they said free Durk or get shot. Against all odds, it's looking like all-out warfare, and it's the first time I heard the fans make a bold statement and threaten to slide on the U.S. magistrate over their favorite musician. Look, I know we living in the times of trolling, but parasocial relationships at an all-time high. Unlike the historical one-sided connection with TV stars before social media, because today's digital platforms offer manufactured intimacy that make these bonds feel more frequent, complex, and intense. You know what? And I don't even get confused no more when fans add themselves into the war of their favorite art. I ain't mad at you.
We 646 on BD on game like that. Homies don't play with the period.
So the government is claiming that Durk's influence and his history of intimidation runs deep. So with that being said, the feds is even claiming that Durk supporters pose a risk to juror safety. making their argument for anonymous jury more applicable. And all this go to show is that the trolls are playing a more pivotal role in this case than we think. Stemming from the initial fan-made editor Quando Rondo screaming and yelling no on the ad-libs to where we at today. I mean, if I got on the horn and called a federal building and threatened to blow it up to ashes and dust and left voicemails claiming to take out the federal prosecutor and judge, man, what? I would have fucked around and made CNN and y'all will never hear from me again. You know what I'm talking about? That would have made an example of my dumb ass and ducked me off and hid me like an Easter egg somewhere, boy. I'm talking about, ain't nobody heard from Drill Time? Shit, last I heard, they done turned your man into crocodile bites over there in Alligator Alcatraz. Fuck you talking about? Think about it, I never met this man a day in my life, so how could my stupidity hurt or help or hinder his case in any fashion? So the fans ain't buying it, they calling it cap and reject their deposit because they saying obviously this proved that this case ain't strong enough, so they throwing anything at him to make it stick, hopefully, like spaghetti on the wall. But they got your boy Durk looking very treacherous. They said the government comparing Durk's structure to organized crime like the Mexican mob. And Durk, the leader, that uses his money, influence, and power to endanger individuals that he perceives as a threat. Feds also claim that Durk was caught with an Apple Watch in custody, and instead of taking full accountability, he tried to destroy it before he got caught with it. So the feds view this as obstruction and potential witness and tampering. All the more reason to push for anonymous jury. And a text chain that they label Munna Duke feud. Feds also claim that Durk was frustrated with O Block because they wasn't properly retaliating for King Von. So he declared, I'm finna pipe it up. And Booney Mo responded, blood, it's green. I'm getting shit together now. No phone. Hey, I wonder if the feds really trying to get Booney Mo to corroborate this evidence. Because the last we heard of Booney Mo, he was doing a 7-ball in Iowa for a few tinas of cocaine. The feds even detailed they got a rat in the cut that they keep well fed that's ready to paint that picture of Durk and coloring bad by saying he was commissioned to kill the first person that he spotted in O Block. But he ended up not going through with the move and he ain't never get paid. The feds also caught wind of the Lamron feud with Durk in his neighborhood when they was going back and forth on the internet and trying to build a case based on lyrics from Lil Durk unreleased song Survivor, referring to group chats, cars that was given the slide, and firearms, etc. I mean, I don't know. To me, it seemed like the feds reaching.
Build a network ready for modern business. A security-first AI.
It's different, the data, them down his, down his hills.
Durk wasn't mentioned in the original indictment and he tried to post bond. Then the feds immediately introduced the Stefan Mack trial and said Durk was responsible for that hit. But he was never charged in Chicago for it and never will be after 3 years of investigation. Remind you, this case was supposed to be originally a murder for hire case on Quando Rondo that took place in LA. So recently, what you've been seeing in the media is the government response to Lil Durk legal team filing new motions. Since Durk is being charged with murder for hire and the indictment claimed that Durk offered a bounty for Quando Rondo murder, Durk's defense demands details on what was offered and how. Durk lawyers argue that the indictment is too vague and there's no clear evidence of coded language or payments. And the allegations the feds are making lack time, place, and method specifics. And lack of these specifics could violate Durk's constitutional rights under the 5th and 6th Amendments and endanger his due process. So no matter how you feel about Durk and all the preconceived notions, in America, he's still entitled to a fair trial. So in a nutshell, Durk's legal team filed a new motion to dismiss based on the vagueness of the second superseding indictment. And if the motion to dismiss isn't granted, Durk's defense is demanding a bill of particulars that reflect the theory upon which the grand jury rested its charging decision and indicted him for in the first place, giving Durk fair notice against the allegations against him. In this bill of particulars, the defense needs the feds to specify this coded language that they claim Durk used. They also need to clarify the nature of the bounty, the date, the time, the audience, and the circumstances related to the allegations in this indictment. This request was made under the Federal Rule of Criminal Procedure 7F and the 5th and 6th Amendment, and they're asking for the feds to produce these documents in 45 days. Instead of acknowledging and sending these documents, the feds fired back by pushing for an anonymous jury, citing Durk's alleged influence over associates and a pattern of organized crime. By making accusations that Durk was coordinating hits on old Blockians for not sliding for Von, and also funding criminal activity and sending threats through song lyrics and coded text group chats, including a seized Apple Watch that he was allegedly trying to destroy. However, Durk's defense state that the allegations against him are primarily based on information from a paid FBI informant that's a former gang member with a criminal history. Now, who is the informant? I don't know. We just gotta be patient until the trial starts. But usually, paid informants with criminal histories and gang ties wouldn't have any credibility to jurors. But if the feds can secure this anonymous jury, this possibly could change everything. The use of anonymous juries don't only conceal the juror's identity, it can also create a prejudicial atmosphere, suggesting to the jurors that the defendant is dangerous and guilty, therefore undermining their presumption of innocence. Withholding information limits the ability of attorneys to question prospective jurors and discover potential biases. Some studies suggest that anonymous jurors may return with more guilty verdicts, and Boosie said they did the same thing to him when he was on death row. He said the feds trying to taint the jury and make the jury mad so they'll be ready to convict and go home. It's not every day that the feds go against the best lawyers in the world. So if they don't have their case set in stone before presenting it to the grand jury, they leaving a lot of room for that 90% conviction rate to decrease. Hey, I need y'all to pay attention to this former federal prosecutor, give his breakdown and what he really think that the feds got on Durk and his anonymous jury really needed due to these circumstances.
Durk's team is doubling down with yet another motion to dismiss. That is where we left off. Things have escalated. We got a lot of developments to talk about. I want to bring on friend of the show, former federal prosecutor Nima Rahmani. Nima, thank you so much for taking the time. Always love having you on here. Okay, let's start here from big picture of the case. How common is it for someone to face federal charges for ordering a hit, ordering an assassination, right? Even if they didn't pull the trigger themselves. Is it common?
Jesse, always good being on. It's usually not common. Usually they'll throw that in with the actual murder or some sort of RICO charge. But here, the feds apparently believe that Lil Durk is the one who's the shot caller, even though he's not pulling the trigger. We do see these murder for hire cases stateside more, but the feds are really interested in this case for some reason, maybe because of who Lil Durk is.
Do you think that there's strong evidence that he directed this in some way, was funding it in some way, was the mastermind behind it in some way?
I think there's evidence. Is it a lock? Not necessarily. A lot of these federal cases, as you know, by the time they go to the grand jury and get an indictment, Jesse, it's a done deal, right? I mean, it's just a matter of whether they're going to plead or be convicted at trial. But here, it's a little bit more attenuated. Obviously, we'll see what evidence comes out. Look, you're relying on cooperator testimony. You and I have talked about it a lot, right? Those are people that are often criminals. You got to corroborate that. Now, they have text messages, but some of them are pretty cryptic. And, you know, to the extent that Lil Durk's credit card was used for ski masks, hotels, and so forth, that's certainly enough. But for the conspiracy, for the solicitation, usually means something more than.
This is hands down one of the most.
He's trying to say that the feds really don't got nothing on him, but he don't want to say it. But he's like, yo, feds usually, you know what I'm saying? If Durk was just a regular dude, like this would be a cut dry case. But if he got his defense lawyer, he's saying, damn, they could actually rip through this. With a good defense team.
Into something the defense is doing, where they're challenging this indictment. My understanding is saying it's impermissibly vague. What does that mean to you? Is that a common defense? Does it usually work?
Jesse, it's not a common defense at all, and usually it doesn't work because really the remedy is for the prosecution to cure and be more specific in the indictment. When you're talking about a conspiracy, when you're talking about solicitation, you really need to identify those overt acts and further into the conspiracy, the evidence of the solicitation for the murder for hire. And in this particular case, I think the defense's theory really is the best defense is a good offense. They're trying to file these motions, not because they necessarily think the indictment's actually going to be dismissed, but to put the prosecution on its heels a bit.
And the pendulum swinging, right? Because now let's talk about what the feds are doing. This is the new allegations. This is what I wanted to bring you on for. So the feds have allegedly quietly introduced this new explosive claim into Durk's legal case, that he didn't just order a hit on Quando Rondo, that he also put out hits on members of his own O Block crew, who apparently failed to retaliate after King Von's 2020 death. This was a friend of his. That's according to reporting from Hot New Hip Hop, The Source. According to those reports, federal prosecutors, they plan to present testimony from a witness who claims that Durk personally gave those orders to O-Block associates. Now, this new theory, it frames this case even more broadly. So not just a revenge plot, but kind of like this possible internal purge, an effort to maintain control, demand loyalty, punish dissent within his own inner circle. Now, that being said, none of these additional claims have yet led to new formal charges against him. But Nima, let's talk about it. Can you explain what it means legally if prosecutors allege that Durk ordered hits on his own associates, even if no new charges have been filed as of yet?
Jesse, there's a couple reasons why you want to do this. Sometimes the feds will pile on to try to gain leverage and to force some sort of plea. But in this particular case, it's probably to try to dirty him up. You remember, the 80s movies where the villain turns on his own crew, really? That's something that jurors are not going to like. Now, look, I'm not saying this is substantiated, but it may be part of the bigger story here. This wasn't just a hit on Rondo, right? With Robinson being the innocent target. This was, like you said, a purge. Durk was upset because his own crew didn't avenge the Vaughn death. So he wanted to kill even members of his own inner circle. Again, not saying that the prosecution can prove it, but if they can, I don't think jurors are going to like Lil Durk at all.
And by the way, just to be clear, Rondo has not been, charged or connected to the death of Vaughn, but it is interesting what this theory is. I do want to make it clear that what is coming out right now is prosecutors seem to say they plan to present witness testimony that Durk gave these orders. If that's the case, how credible are they, especially if they're testifying in this trial in federal court?
Yeah, I'm kind of shaking my head. And this is me personally, Jesse. And look, I prosecuted, cartels, organized crime. I really don't like to rely exclusively on the testimony of cooperators, right? Look, they're always going to get torn up on cross-examination, that they have an axe to grind, they're disgruntled, they're lying to save themselves. It's fine if you have corroborating testimony, right? So maybe they have text messages. Again, the messages seem a little bit cryptic to me. So you got to be really careful when you're just relying on cooperator testimony. You got to buttress it with something more. The last thing you want to do in these types of cases, and we've seen them, like YSL, when you overcharge, it adds confusion, the case drags out, and you end up getting nothing as well. So hopefully the prosecution is going to bring some evidence here to substantiate what they're alleging.
If they don't add new charges, and I'll talk about what those could be in a second, if they don't add new charges, this could be part of the case, though? This technically could be part of the overall case against Durk, the federal case, what he's currently facing?
It could, right? It could be the 404B, right? Part of the motive, the plan, so that could come in.
Sentencing?
Sentencing, of course, we know all that relevant conduct comes in, right? We saw that in the Diddy case. So I think a judge would allow it in because it is relevant to this scheme. Again, the defense has to be provided notice, obviously any discovery related to it, but it's going to come in. Look, at the end of the day, you're talking about a federal murder for hire case, right? It could carry it. We know it carries a potential life sentence, but even a potential death sentence. Now, obviously, the feds haven't filed notice of intent to seek the death penalty. So it's not going to add anything in terms of the potential exposure, but it can certainly bring more bad facts in the case if they're substantiated.
And support their case. Okay, let's say they decide to bring new charges with respect to this. Is that something you expect to see, and what could those charges be?
It'd probably be, conspiracy or attempted murder, right? And, we're talking about a January trial date, so it's pretty late in the game. I don't know if the judge would allow it. If the judge did, the defense may ask for continuance, and I think the judge should probably grant it, right? If you're adding additional counts 3 months before your trial, probably a little bit late, in my opinion, to keep that trial date. Again, obviously, it's the defendant's right to a speedy trial. If Durk's team wants to keep that date, they'll move forward, but it may be a reason to kick this out.
But not a different trial, not a different case, not a separate case. Like, they wouldn't bring a separate indictment, had nothing to do with Quando Rondo, separate indictment regarding him allegedly taking out hits on his own people. That's not something you expect.
No, not at all. It would be part and parcel of the same case.
Okay, now I want to talk about something else. I want to talk about the second motion to dismiss by the defense. So on October 6th, Lil Durk's legal team filed a second motion to dismiss the federal indictment. And they argued once again that the case against him is too vague to be fair. So per reporting from Hot New Hip Hop, Durk's attorney, Drew Findling, lays out the problem.
Phone companies hate when you do this, but they can't do a damn thing about it.
Drew Findling
claims that co-conspirators carried out acts at the direction of Durk, flying to LA, tracking and stalking Quando Rondo, attempting to kill him by gunfire, procuring firearms and other equipment, that it fails to provide specifics about what Durk himself allegedly did or said. As Findling writes, while the indictment alleges that the co-conspirators carried out various acts at the direction of Mr. Banks, flying to Los Angeles, tracking, stalking, and attempting to kill TB by gunfire, this is Quando Rondo, and procuring the firearms and equipment used to do so, it fails to give any specifics. When, where, how, and to whom did Mr. Banks give these alleged directions? To ensure the basic fairness of this trial, the defense is entitled to know. He adds, what the indictment fails to tell us are the very things the defense is entitled to know, the operative facts underlying the government's theories of Mr. Banks' guilt. There is no allegation here that Mr. Banks physically participated in the stalking and shooting at issue.
I can't honestly, like the past situation. Yeah, that's that. But I can't believe the situation with, you know what I'm saying, him trying to come take out all old block members and take out these people. They said the same thing with FBG Cash. Oh, FBG Cash has something to do with FBG Duck situation. FBG, look at it, he didn't have nothing to do with it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's just a thing that the tactic that they try to throw more for other people than that, or whatever the case may be.
And Durk's legal team has also called the indictment, as we mentioned, impermissibly vague, demanding clarification on the government's allegations. Quote, it leaves the defense to guess as to the government's theory of guilt, and it leaves the government free to change that theory as its cooperators' stories morph over time to meet the demands of a conviction. Nima, do they have a point? How much do prosecutors actually need to lay out for the defense? This is, again, you mentioned Diddy, big part that was litigated leading up to his trial. How much would they be made aware of what the theory of the case was, what the evidence was going to be presented? How much do prosecutors legally need to lay out and tell the defense?
Yeah, it's a due process issue, so the defense has to be given enough information to be put on notice of the nature of the allegations. But as far as, dates and times and specific statements, look, the indictment's not evidence, right? That's all witness testimony that's going to come out at trial. So I think the prosecution, as long as they can allege the unlawful agreement, the overt act and furtherance of the conspiracy, and generally lay out the actions of the co-conspirators, I think that's enough, and I don't think the judge is going to dismiss based on vagueness.
That idea of, hey, they could just change their theory, they can change it as cooperator stories change, that's not going to persuade a judge? You don't think?
Well, that goes, in my opinion, that goes to the weight of the evidence, not the admissibility, right? So you're not going to get a new indictment, right? You can cross-examine folks if they change their story, right? And again, none of this is evidence. Even if they put a specific statement in that indictment and the witness were to testify to something different, the witness's testimony controls, right? You can cross-examine on anything, right? You can allege that, well, did you previously tell law enforcement or prosecutors that it was on such and such date? Now you're telling us it's on a different date. I mean, that's fertile grounds for cross in any case. But I don't think it's grounds to dismiss the indictment. That's a pretty extraordinary remedy.
Well, a hearing on this new motion is scheduled for November 18th, so we'll keep a careful eye out on that. But I do want to move on to something that is very troubling, okay? Alleged threats against prosecutors and judges and request for an anonymous jury. Let's talk about this. So authorities reporting that supporters of this rapper have issued multiple threats targeting key figures in the case. According to an FBI report that was filed in the Central District of California, fans of Lil Durk have allegedly vowed physical harm and gun violence and even arson if the Chicago rapper is convicted. The threats have included 4 voicemails that were apparently left on a U.S. magistrate judge's phone. One message reportedly stating, "If they get life, I'm gonna burn this mother bleeper down." They being Lil Durk and one of his co-defendants, DeAndre Wilson. Now, the alleged intimidation extended apparently, to the prosecution team as well. Assistant U.S. Attorney Ian Yaniello, one of the lead prosecutors, reportedly received a call from an unidentified male who warned, "Free Durk or be shot." Now, citing these incidents, the government has requested an anonymous jury. Writing in court filings, defendant supporters have already attempted to intimidate individuals connected to this case. Nima, I have a few points about this. First of all, have you seen something like this before? If it's true, have you experienced something like this before? How common is it?
Look, I got threats when I was a federal prosecutor. It's part of the job, Jesse. I mean, if you're going after the bad guys, they're going to make threats. Now, a lot of these threats are not substantiated. And look, it's easy for me to say, now that I'm out of the Department of Justice, to say it's not a big deal. Don't worry about it. But if you're a judge, if you're a prosecutor, this is what you sign up for. So I'm sure it's not fun to get threats from fans or the defendant or, his family. But this is not unexpected. And I got threats all the time when I was a prosecutor.
The idea of this justifying an anonymous jury. And what is an anonymous jury? Don't we always have anonymous juries? Don't we not know the identities of these people? So what does it mean to have an anonymous jury, and would this justify it?
So on Law and Crime, obviously, when we televise the trials, they never show the jurors, right? But the lawyers, they know the identity of the jurors, right? That way they can do their research on social media, see what their political affiliations are, if they've said anything about the case. Truly anonymous jury, that information is even withheld from the lawyers. Again, not very common. It's really, we talked about different extraordinary remedies, pretty extraordinary. Obviously, the judge in these types of cases has a lot of discretion on how to handle the jury, but I would be surprised if we get an anonymous jury based on some, voicemails and that type of thing. Look, this is social media. I'm sure there are folks who are watching, they love me and you, Jesse, but people say all sorts of crazy things. So I don't think it's enough to get an anonymous jury just yet.
Would they be in a separate room if that were the case? Like, do they hear the case? They hear the trial from a separate room on a camera or something? I mean, how would the defendant or everyone else not know who they are?
Yeah, I mean, that's a possibility. We've seen that. Sometimes they'll have two juries for different issues in the case. One will be in another room.
Should these glasses be illegal in the U.S.? Nobody believed me at first, but now
I feel like homie saying that Durk got a fighting chance. I feel like that's what he's saying.
But again, like, if you're the jury, think about it. I mean, you need to assess the witnesses and their credibility. You need to look at them eye to eye. So it really becomes problematic when you start doing things like this. Again, I would be very surprised, based on what we've heard, some voicemails, if we do get an anonymous jury.
Okay, I want to now move on to the Apple Watch situation. Now, this is another dramatic twist in this Lil Durk saga. So prosecutors, they revealed in a filing from October 6th that the rapper was allegedly caught with an Apple Watch in jail. Now, this is a device with cellular capabilities, and that he allegedly tried to destroy it once it was discovered. The motion that was filed in support of a request for that anonymous jury reads, in late August 2025, BOP officials seized an Apple Watch with cellular capability from defendant. Even more troubling is Banks' conduct after he was caught. Rather than accept responsibility for this violation, defendant allegedly obstructed the investigation, attempting to damage and or destroy the communications device. And authorities point out that this wasn't an isolated incident, that Durk was accused last December of making unregulated three-way phone calls from the Metropolitan Detention Center, the MDC in Los Angeles, where he's currently jailed. So these repeated alleged violations are being used to argue that there's a real risk of witness tampering in this case, especially given, quote, the expansive reach of Durk's Only the Family or OTF network. Nima, how serious is this allegation here? Do they know, or they're alleging that he tried to destroy it? Let's start there and we'll talk about whether that justifies taking some action.
So look, it's serious, but it's not uncommon. We talked about this with Eric and Lyle Menendez, right? And this is one of the reasons they weren't granted parole. You can't have a cell phone in prison. Doesn't matter whether it's state or federal, right? So an Apple Watch qualifies for that. Look, is it a violation? Yes. Is it grounds for something serious in terms of the remedy in the case, like an anonymous jury? No, Jesse, it's just something that happens and it's dealt with by BOP and other prison officials, and they deal with it. It shouldn't really affect the case unless they charge, obstruction or something related to witness tampering.
And again, does it justify an anonymous jury? Does it justify adding added protection to witnesses in this case?
They want to make Durk look like he's making hits off of fucking Apple Watch and data. Now he's over there making family calls. Like, logic is logic. It's crazy.
Missed, while federal prosecutors claim to have witnesses and digital evidence tying him to the plot. Lil Durk's legal team has been working tirelessly to have his federal murder for hire case thrown out, filing not just one but two separate motions to completely dismiss the prosecution's claims. The defense argues that the indictment lacks specificity, particularly in detailing the alleged instructions Durk gave to his associates. His attorney, Drew Findling, contends that the prosecution's claims are vague, stating that the indictment fails to specify when, where, and how Durk allegedly directed others to commit violent acts. This move comes as Durk remains behind bars, still awaiting trial after it was pushed back and scheduled for January 20th, 2026. As we all know, the case centers around an alleged plot in 2022, where Durk and 5 associates linked to his OTF rap label reportedly conspired to murder rapper Quando Rondo in retaliation for King Von's death. The plan went sideways when the shooters missed Rondo and instead killed his cousin, Xavier Robinson, better known as Lil Pab, at a Los Angeles gas station. Durk faces charges including conspiracy to commit murder for hire resulting in death and firearms violations. Adding complexity to the case are allegations that Durk ordered hits on members of O Block who failed to retaliate for King Von's murder. According to court documents, Durk allegedly instructed OTF members, including Booney Mo and OTF Didi, to slide on O Block members as part of a feud involving O Block member Munna Duke. In the text messages, Durk says he's going to pipe it up, that with Booney Mo responding, "Blood, it's green," followed by a car and green light emoji, then adding, "I'm getting it together now, no phones." This referred to the light being green, meaning he was going to act on Durk's alleged orders of violence. These messages from 2023 have reportedly been used as evidence in the ongoing investigation. Fast forward to 2025, Munna Duke was gunned down and passed away outside a bar with fellow O Block member Youngin. However, at the time of this video, no one has been charged for the shooting, and there is no solid evidence linking Lil Durk to the incident. It further states that in April 2023, another text chain between Durk, Didi, Booney Mo, and Devin Shea Collier, better known as THF Bezu, allegedly shows Lil Durk forwarding an Instagram message to rival Richard Ramsey, aka ex-OTF member, Richo, stating that he's got people hunting for him and that ads better have 3 ski masks on. But as you can see in the paperwork, it says text chain, meaning Bezu and Didi were simply in a group chat with OTF when this message was sent, so they could very well have had nothing to do with anything. But on the other hand, Booney Mo's alleged voice note states he was conveying Durk's instructions regarding money and sliders or getaway cars. Didi's lawyers fought back, claiming that he had no part in this, stating that it doesn't show him commenting, agreeing, or even responding to the alleged texts and voice notes. They then proceeded to bring up lyrics from Durk's songs like Aha, Rumors, and Scoom His Ass, which, as we all know, is not enough to incriminate someone. This brings us to why OTF Dede, whose real name is DeAndre Wilson, faces 10 federal charges, including conspiracy, stalking resulting in death, firearms violations, and more. His legal team has filed a motion to sever his trial from Durk's, basically wanting him to be tried separately so that anything they have on Durk won't be used against him, giving him a better chance. The motion argues that evidence admissible against Durk may not apply to Wilson and that a separate trial would ensure a fair assessment of each defendant's actions.
Did you know?
We're able to give our patients their permanent teeth.
So y'all thinking that y'all thinking Durk? Y'all thinking Durk's over there putting hits on people, OTF members and O Block members, or you thinking that the prosecution's just OD in this whole situation, GG? You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, everybody make it out the situation, because we ain't here to store nobody differently, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy, it's crazy how you get put in a position, and get, you know what I'm saying? Get put in a position that you gotta take, that you got peer pressure, and your peer pressure is to slide for Vaughn. It's because you telling other people to slide for Vaughn, or you were telling people to not slide for Vaughn, or whatever the case may be, and now people were saying it towards you, and then you take it detrimental, and then it goes, you take it internal, and then You find yourself the data where you're not supposed to be, GG. So you know what I'm saying? You gotta take more aware. You gotta take more aware of the data of what you're doing. The data. Make sure that you stay firm. The data. Make sure you ain't getting tricked out to position. Make sure that you ain't doing. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you standing on business. The data. Life's what you make it. You ain't gonna be able to love it. You ain't gonna be able to hate it. The data. But you gotta make it. But you hurt. You gotta make it. You gotta make it. There's so many ways to get tricked. Your position. There's so many distractions in the world. There's so much shit going on in the world. You gotta stay firm. You gotta stay on pivot. You gotta stay strong-minded. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta stand on business. You heard as a fact, GGs. You know what I'm saying? Don't be out there trying to prove shit to anybody. Prove it to yourself. There's only one person that you should be in competition with. You should be looking at him every day. In the mirror. That's all. Real shit. That's the only people that you should be getting. That's the only person that should be motivating yourself. You should motivate yourself to be great. And that's just what it is. So GG's, the daughters, hyenas, school daughters, learn for school. Steve, stay more aware than ever. Stand on business. That's what you make it. You can't love. You can't hate it. It's gonna be simply what you make it. The data. You heard. God chose you because He knew He could trust you. God's best kept secret.